Yo, what's up? Card Sports League is live back here on Twitch with the YPFL Talk issue 11. My name is Leonard König and I'm of course here with Sebastian Lemke.
Of course. The dynamic duo, as always. You
Yeah,
reunited
you're
after
saying,
just a couple of days, right?
you're saying dynamic, but I'm not too dynamic right now. The weekend was really exhausting. You might have seen our stream of the Austrian National Championship. Of
Oh yeah,
course,
indeed. It was
Austria
so
is
much
really far
fun.
away,
Yeah.
and I can feel the fatigue right now. This is basically my day off, and now we're here. So
No breaks for the YPFL podcast, right? The
yeah,
YPFL
no,
Talk.
absolutely not. So our
But I
guest
totally
today,
get your point, yeah.
our guest today will be Anthony Lopes Temporao, the Luxembourg. I have no idea. The Belgian national champion, who's from Luxembourg.
Exactly.
Yeah, he is going to talk about his tournament. But first of all, we are going to talk about our tournament,
Yeah.
the Austrian National Championship.
We had quite a weekend, so there's quite a bit to talk about, right?
Yes.
In case you
indeed.
guys did miss it, we were casting on the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami channel, and just the two of us, as you have it right here for the podcast. And we were in Salzburg, Austria. 154 players joined us right there. And yeah, it was a nice tournament atmosphere, I would say. We had quite some fun there. I have to say, the city is pretty amazing. We had like some off time in the city because the tournament wasn't so long in the end, so we could just walk through the city as well. And like Austrian people are like pretty happy and nice persons, I would say. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, obviously, it was one of the best tournament experiences I've ever had. I mean, considering that I couldn't scrub out.
Yeah, exactly, because you did not have to play. Like that's a huge upside for you.
Yeah, but I think honestly, the pressure here was much higher
Oh,
than
for sure. It was the first national championship stream for Austria at all, like in history. Nobody can take that away from us, and it
Yeah,
was
true.
just pretty amazing. I think we had like such a good feedback from the chat, and everybody liked it, and we enjoyed it as well, of course. So we had a good time too. And yeah, the tournament itself, I don't know whether it was like super interesting from the meta development. Let's just talk about the numbers for a quick moment. For the top 16 breakdown, we actually had 6 Sky Strikers, 3 Salamangreats, 2 Dracos, 2 Thunder Dragon Dangers, 1 Orcust, 1 BA Orcust, and a Dino. So, like, the diversity was there, but Sky Striker still was standing on top for the top 16 breakdown.
Yeah, but the most interesting part about this is that Orcus was the by far most played deck.
Absolutely. It was like, I said
And
it, we had around 150 players, and how many players were playing Orcust at the start of the day one?
54.
Something around that,
So,
yeah. Just insane.
so
Like, a third of the
20%
players was playing
of the
Orcust.
no, not it was 250 players, not 150.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right.
Bro.
No, wait. No. You are not right. It's 150 players, right?
Are you sure?
Oh boy. Our preparation for the podcast is just insane. And on top of that, I mean, we just casted the event for the whole weekend. But let me give me a second. I will just look it up on the site. But I think it was 150 players, yeah. Let's see. Oh no, you absolutely are right. 254 players. I'm a
As
huge bag.
fucking always.
Yeah, I'm just a fucking huge bag. 250 players. So the tournament was bigger than I just wanted to tell you. But yeah, like Orcus was like pretty well represented, and it just completely failed. I mean, we had one pure Orcus in the top cut, and that wasn't even
Yeah,
that
that
pure
one-
because it was Trickstar Orcus, which was a pretty big Trickstar engine actually.
And without Time Thief Redoer, and that one scrubbed out top 16.
Yeah, right. And the BA August also scrapped out top 16. We had a featured match with him, and he couldn't. Did he even summon a Dante? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, he summoned one,
Oh
but
yeah, he summoned one.
he eventually lost to Ash in damage step. His opponent. Like what? Like this is so weird. You're not sure about the ruling. You ask your opponent in the featured match. He says it's this way, and you're like, yeah, okay, you're probably right. And then you scoop. Why?
Yeah, but I mean, he would have lost anyways, right? There was not a really big
Yeah,
difference.
100%. And
His opponent was far ahead. Actually, his opponent in that occasion was the eventual winner of the event, Sebastian Nessmann.
indeed,
He took it down. He played Salamangreat, so one of the three Salamangreat decks were actually coming out on top. And yeah, what do you think? What do you think about his build of Salamangreat? I think over the course of the day you said you quite like it.
yeah. I mean, it's spicy. Uh, actually, not too spicy. It is. It has like an interesting tech card in it. The Paleozoic Dynamisca is quite interesting. Obviously, trap cards in Salamangreat are insane as long as you have your combo.
Yeah, for sure.
And this one in particular, like, takes away the normal summon of your opponent in the mirror match. Banish Jack Jaguar. That was really important in the top 4 match. I mean, then he threw it away, and then his opponent threw it again, and then everything was thrown away. Like they were all just like throwing the game around each other's heads. Like I'm still confused as to what the thought process of Jonas was there.
Yeah, you were talking
Sometimes.
about the top 4 feature match. I was like
Yeah.
about to ask you what your most favorite feature match of the day was, or of the whole
Oh, that
tournament.
wasn't it.
That
That
wasn't
wasn't
it.
it.
And which one was
No.
it?
I mean that one was like interesting to watch, but it wasn't my favorite because it was awful. Sebastian managed to win it and got into the finals and came to me for the interview, and he was like, "I'm so sad. I'm
Oh yeah, I
really not
remember
happy
that.
about this
Yeah.
entire situation." Yeah, and my favorite match was the Draco Pendulum versus Draco match with Miat,
Yeah,
obviously,
I
my
do
friend,
remember.
my favorite. He won it because he top decked evenly off of a dark bribe that was activated to his evenly.
Yeah, that was a
That was
pretty cool
amazing.
situation.
Yeah.
I mean, not for his opponent. And also, it was quite interesting that his Ignister survived for forever in that game, right? It just stayed on board and it just bossed his opponent, his True Draco opponent, and he
Yeah,
couldn't really do anything about it. It was really interesting.
indeed. And he played the Pancratops main deck. He had quite the spice. I mean, I have his list on my phone. I don't really want to reveal it to anyone,
Yeah.
uh, because of reasons, you know. It's kind of his intellectual property.
Of course it is.
uh, Anyways, yeah, that was my favorite Heatwave match. Well, what about yours?
I do have to say that that top 4 featured match probably was my favorite match of the day, just because it was so emotional and like so many stuff happened that we were going on a really roller coaster ride right there, because it was just going up and down and up and down. So the experience for us was pretty entertaining, and Chad was like also pretty hyped about the game. Like, I don't know, not just in a positive way, but like they were feeling the game. They were just
You
going
think?
wild, you know. I mean, it was just entertainment in some way, and so that was what had me best, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I
Yeah,
get
I
it.
mean, it wasn't the best Yu-Gi-Oh, as you said, because they both messed up pretty hard, but in the end, it still was very entertaining. And I would have wished that the final would have been more entertaining too, but the final was just 2 times Sebastian having the absolute nuts and just going wild. And I think, how long did the final take? It was like 20 minutes at most, right? Maybe
Yeah,
even shorter.
I mean, he didn't have the absolute nuts yet. He played like the most consistent build to get out his combo,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
and like he has combo and 1 or 2 hard draw, and I think this is just what the deck does. If you let the combo deck go first twice, and you get comboed, and combo plus 1 or 2 hard draws is enough, then yeah, it's like not the absolute bonkers nuts. I mean, it's what Salamangreat does
Yeah,
basically.
that's
You
what he
you
said
open
as
your
well,
combo, you
right?
win. Yeah.
He said that basically in every single interview with us. I interviewed him first, I think, after his top 16 featured match. Then you had him after the top 4 featured match. And then we had like a very, very short interview in the winner's ceremony. And every single time he was just like, yeah, that is what the deck does. Everybody says I'm having like super, super good starting hands, but I mean, these were just average. And he couldn't really understand why everybody was just saying that.
This ceremony, man.
Yeah, I mean, you could see that we didn't do a lot of ceremonies before, I think.
Yeah, it was like, I think 10 minutes before the ceremony started, we were informed that the Konami official who was there wouldn't do it, but we would. And that kind of caught us off guard.
But I mean, it does make sense, right? I mean, we like the general idea because we had the whole weekend with the viewers, so why wouldn't we do it when everybody just saw us for the whole weekend?
Because, like, at every YCS or
Euro,
of
course,
it's always AD and Paulo Ribeiro who give out the prizes at the ceremony. So we're kind of not expecting this. And
true. We were still caught off guard, definitely.
Yeah, we had to improvise. You were handing the boxes, just the plain boxes, without anything in it to the winners.
Yeah, the boxes of the trophies. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I did have the chance to actually touch the prize card.
Yeah,
I had that on my side.
Basically, like as soon as the camera went on, like as soon as we went live for the ceremony, and I had to do I had to do the talking for that part, I blanked. I mean, I didn't have anything on my mind before that. I didn't have like a general idea of what I was going to say there.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think about having something to say. So I just stood there and was like, yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And then they're like, go. And I was like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do here? Winners, yeah, okay. Prizes, ceremony, rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah, you were so confused that you didn't even realize that I was handing out empty boxes to the players,
yes.
Right? So it was really like a weird and cringy thing, but I still think we did kind of a good job because we were like still entertaining in some way, and that's probably
because of our weird and cringy ceremony we were entertaining. But I mean, this is kind of our moderation style, right?
Exactly. That's what the people had for the whole weekend. So it was kind of what they were expecting for the ceremony as well. And I mean, it was...
Yeah, you have to cringe.
It was nice that actually like around 450 people or so stayed until the ceremony. And I mean, it was just us handing out the prizes. And of course, glory to the players. It wasn't our ceremony, it was theirs. But we were a big part of it. And just for the ceremony, so many viewers, that was kind of nice. And we actually broke through, I think, 1,000 people right before the final ended. That was also a cool moment.
It was amazing.
Talking about it from the semifinals on. We were like, okay, now it's around 200 people left. So guys, please get everybody out. Tell them the stream is live. We're having a good time. So get your mama, your papa, and everybody in. And then right in the finals, the last second, 1,000 people were in, and we were like pretty happy. And of course, like the event organizer and everybody was pretty happy with that as well, with that result, especially because it was the first ever stream of the Austrian National Championship that had a pretty good... The people took it pretty well, and I think also people from the US tuned in and they liked it, because obviously when there are official streams of American YCSs or official tournaments, they don't have chat activated, which I think is just insane. Like, why would you have chat turned off? That's just the best way to interact and just the best way of entertainment, I think. When you can instantly answer questions that people in the chat are asking you, it's just the perfect way of interacting.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about the best featured match, but what was, in your opinion the best deck you saw in the featured match area over the weekend?
Oh, it was... I think definitely the Draco Pendulum.
Oh, really? Did you like it that
Yeah,
much?
yeah, I found it pretty cool. Just seeing like Draco, what's his name again? Luster Pendulum
Yeah.
and Vector Pendulum that brought back so many memories, and they were actually quite good. Also, like the synergy with Duelist Alliance, that you can either get access to your Draco engine to get the Guard Dragon combo, or at a Pendulum Call to get like your general stuff going. That's pretty nasty, actually.
Yeah, it is indeed. But I would say for me it was probably, and I still don't know how we didn't see that until the finals. Like, how could that get past us? That Sky Striker deck that just was an insane list. I mean, it isn't
No,
revealed to the
he
public
denied the
yet.
featured matches. This
Yeah.
is how it got past us.
Ah, yeah, of course. But I mean, we didn't even try it. Like, we didn't. Okay, we
Yeah.
looked at him at the semifinals. It would have been okay to feature him in the semifinals, but we didn't know at that point what kind of list he was playing. Like, we just knew he's playing Sky Striker, and he played versus Marcel Hunch in the semifinals, so it was a Sky Striker mirror match, and we are like, do we really want to have that in the semifinals? And our pick for the semifinals featured match obviously was much more entertaining because
Yes, indeed.
we had that Salamangreat mirror match between Sebastian and Jones. And so that was quite entertaining, as we already pointed out. And then in the finals, Christopher Böhm sits down and just plays that super, super interesting Sky Striker list nobody expected to see. But he had like super big success with it. And I know you really, really liked that list. You were already testing a kind of similar list the last few days. And I don't know whether you want to talk about it or do you want to keep it secret for now?
Yeah, I'll talk about it after this weekend's regional. Ha ha ha. Ah.
Yeah, guys. But if you have the chance, I don't know, the Konami channel, also the Konami people will decide when the featured matches will be uploaded to the official YouTube channel. So keep your eyes open there. And then if you can see the finals, definitely have an eye on that. Because, I mean, in the finals, it kind of... you didn't even see that he was playing, like, the spicy tags, but there were a lot of
No,
spicy tags in this deck.
I mean, obviously we're going to talk about that. I was just trolling you guys. He played Cardiff Demise in the Sky Striker deck. He played 3 Shark Cannon, 3 Afterburners, and 3 Jamming Waves.
Yes.
37 spell cards and 3 ways.
Exactly. 0 hand traps.
Yeah, he played so much spell trap removal. It's just crushing the mirror match. Marcel Hunch told me after his top 4 match versus Christopher, I was like, yeah, I had a double engage start. I was like, okay, neat, I'm gonna win this. Easy peasy mirror match. And then his opponent just jamming waved him 4 times in the first turn.
Seems like fun, right?
Yeah, you can just in the mirror match you can just like every turn pop the Link monster and then banish the Ray. Like there are as soon as there's a Ray in the graveyard, it's gonna be banished. It's crazy good.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like the list is completely awful versus Salamangreat or so. Triple Shark Cannon obviously
3
is
Shark
insane
Cannon?
versus Salamangreat.
Yeah.
Exactly. You really have a good
Yeah,
time
also
with that too.
Also, the whole single target spell trap removal is insane. You easily get rid of all the problem cards like Raw or Rage, and I mean it's hard to kind of prevent the OTK with the deck, but
Because you have
I
no
mean,
interruption, and also if
yeah,
combo
only
decks get
Anchor.
better once again, it's also like kind of hard because you have
Yeah.
absolutely no hand traps as well.
Yeah, you have Mystic Mine in the side deck though.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point, but then you can just negate the Mystic Mine, I guess.
How does Thunder Dragon, for example, negate the Mystic Mine if you go Metaverse?
If you go
They open, like-
Metaverse, they have no chance, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and other than that, you will just like either Afterburner or Anchor or something. You will have something with your Mystic Mine, the number 38, and
Yeah.
then
Hopefully. But also his sideboard was so interesting because he actually played Typhoon, and he played Twin Twisters, and really just like he played a lot of back row removal in the main deck already, and then his sideboard also was only back row removal basically, plus the Metaverses and the Mystic Minds. So you really were looking at the list and being like, what is this? Like, is this Sky Striker? I didn't even get the real point of it, and afterwards I realized like a little later that might really be the way to go with Sky Strikers from now on. Could be the list we see, like winning Utrecht or so, or not the exact list, because I actually do think that it's not really necessary to play triple Afterburner, for example. I think it's surely okay to just play 2 or even 1 of it, and I kind of miss the Eagle Booster as well. He cut out Eagle Booster completely, so I still think that
Eagle
card
Booster's
is really, really good.
It's like mainly strong in the mirror match, and I don't know, you're winning that one anyways, but I think it wouldn't hurt to have a one-off Eagle Booster in it, just like to have a setup for Salamangreat OTKs or something like that, or to not get killed by Thunder Dragons immediately.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're drawing with Card of Demise, and then you're drawing into Afterburner, it's like meh, right? And you would rather have the Eagle Booster instead. That's what I would imagine, at least. So,
but I think that we can now, after boring you with our non-interesting stories about our weekend, we can just move on to introducing the Belgian national champion 2019, Anthony Lopes Temporao. Woo!
Hey guys.
Hey,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us. So a real champion in now. An actual national champion, not like Leonard.
Hey, what the fuck, dude?
Well, he was one.
He was one, exactly. But you are one for now. So would you just give us a brief introduction to yourself?
So, as you already said, I'm Anthony Lopes. I come from Luxembourg. I'm 20 years old. I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for like 3 years now. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
And you have also been part of a professional Yu-Gi-Oh team, right?
Oh yeah, it was a really good team that sadly doesn't exist anymore because it was too good. It was Team Trent.
Obviously. Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that you had your biggest success in your Yu-Gi-Oh career so far the last weekend. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was a pretty big success.
I would like to just have a tournament report from you, like round by round, and just tell us at first probably what deck you played for the event, and then what deck you faced, and just go with the flow and tell us about your tournament experience.
Okay, so so the tournament was I played Sky Striker. For the spicy decks, I played Mystic Mind, which everyone's playing right now, but I didn't play Metaverse because I didn't feel it was necessary. Mm-hmm. And I played 2 Jamming Waves. That's like the special things about my deck. There were 189 players in total, which is
pretty big
not
for
a lot.
Belgium, right?
Well, for Belgium, it's pretty big, but it's not a lot for a national.
Yeah, that's true.
So there were 8 rounds of Swiss and then top 16. So for the first round, I played against Draco, which of course is it's Belgium. So what do you expect?
But that deck basically is a buy for you, right?
Yeah, it's really easy to win against that deck. Like, I don't even need to think it in a matchup. It's really funny. As long as I see Ray, it's pretty free.
Yeah.
So yeah, game 1 I basically win, and game 2 he puts Metaltron on the field, which was surprising. But then I just do some link plays and do a Bomber, which was the only time that someone Bomber the weekend, and then crashed into the Metaltron and won. Nice. So yeah, that was the round 1, which was pretty hectic. And then round 2 I played against Salad, who was a really forgetful player. Who forgot a lot of good effects of Salamangreat.
Okay.
So he didn't win that one.
For example, what did he do? Like special summon Gazelle and don't send or what?
Yeah, that was one of the things he didn't do. Like game
Wow.
one, he was super nervous. I don't know why.
Okay.
And he just forgot Gazelle, and then he forgot Sunlight Will Effect to take back Gazelle. So he had basically no comeback.
Cool.
And game two, yeah, he bricked, I think. I had there can only be one. Yeah. It's basically the same thing, so.
Yeah, so you were like, yeah, give me more of that, right? More
Yeah.
opponents like that.
Yeah, but sadly it wasn't the case for the rest of the tournament, so yeah.
Okay.
So round three, I played against Chudraco, which played Extravagance. So that was also really weird, because Extravagance conflicts with a lot of cards of the deck.
Absolutely.
Also, I forgot to mention, against both Chudracos, I tried to side in Full House. But every time I saw Full House in my hand, I was like super confident. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna resolve Full House, gonna be insane. And then my opponent just sets one and passes, and I'm like, damn.
Was that your spicy tag for the Chudraco matchup especially?
No, it was also really good in the
Mindburn,
mirror.
right? Oh, in the mirror as well. Yeah, true.
Yeah, it was pretty much the replacement for Shadroid because it has more uses than Shadroid.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well,
I think at the moment, Shared Ride kind of gets worse, and a lot of people are starting to cut that card because you don't really need it anymore.
Yeah, but in the mirror match, you usually always do a double engage play, so I guess Shadroid is still good in the mirror match, but it's only good in the mirror match, and that's the problem with the card.
Right.
So I won the three first rounds, and then I played the round 4 against Max, who also played Salad and got top 4. It was a really non-fun game, but Max was funny, so I guess it was worth it to play.
Max is always funny, but it's only because he's such a big idiot. Big love to Max. I hope he's watching.
Yeah, I hope too, man. And game one, he had like he played Strike main deck, which of course I got destroyed by it. I had literally no chance. He had 2 sets, and I jamming wave 1. I got Rage, the one that pops 2, and the other one was a Strike, so of course I lose. I could not play that. And then game 2, my hand was like really mediocre, and I had one play which made me win the game like 100%. So I searched for Murchel, which was the risky play, and he had a Cosmic set, so I lost. And yeah, so I got TO'd by Max, which was really fun. He then took a picture of me.
The salt.
Yeah, I was pretty salty.
I have that picture on my phone, by the way.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So guys, if you are in need of that picture, just contact Leo for that.
I don't think I'll need it. So round 5, I play against a Salad again. It was a pretty standard match, but at one point he linked everything away and summoned Abramax. He had no field spell, no set cards, no hand cards, only one Abramax. And I was like, oh, I think this card is a problem for me because I had read this card like once or twice. So I asked him, what can I not do with this? He said, you can only attack this card and you can't target it. So I can destroy it, right? And he was like, yeah, you can destroy it. So I just used my engage, search Jamming Wave, set one card, activate Jamming Wave, destroy Avramax. So he then shuffles back my Kagari, which was on the field. And I was like, sure, man, whatever. And I won. So yeah, it was a pretty funny match.
Easy.
And then round 6, I was like table 6.
What a coincidence.
Round 6, table 6, yeah. I was 4-1, and then my opponent just normal summons Guru. And I was like, what? Are you X1? Yeah, I'm X1. Oh, okay. So, yeah, another free matchup for Sky Striker, I guess.
It's the maximum disrespect when you ask your opponent after he summons the first card whether he is X1.
I thought I was down paired, so yeah, it was good for me.
Yeah, of course.
But he was really nice, and he also said to me that he didn't think that he would make it this far with the deck. And yeah, at least he was honest with himself.
Yeah.
Round 7, I played against Sky Striker. It was the Sky Striker that I faced in the finals also.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, he didn't like the mirror match very much, so I 2-0'd him in the Swiss round, because first game he didn't see a ray at all, so it was pretty much easy. And then game 2, I had control over the game because he didn't use Twin Twister Rise. Round 8, I played against Kim, which played Orcust. Game 1 was really long. It was, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. It was really back and forth. It was like my first grind game against Orcus, because normally Sky Strikers just banish everything from their graves, steal everything, and then they can't come back.
Yeah.
But my hand was mediocre, so I couldn't do that, so I really needed to grind. And I lost the game 1. And game 2, I had an average Sky Striker hand, so I just won, and then time was called. So it was a draw.
Which was pretty alright for you, right? Because that meant you're safe in the top cut.
Yeah, so yeah, I was fine with a draw. Even with a loss, I would have still been in the top cut.
Oh, okay.
So it was fine either way. So day 1 ends there with 8 rounds, and I was 6-1-1, and I got 4th after Swiss.
Nice.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was my first top at a premier event, if you can say it like that.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy.
Sure. You can be.
And then I needed to prepare myself mentally for the next day, because the tournament was still going on for me.
Yeah. So let me just interrupt you right there, because we have a little mini game in our podcast, and because you just finished with day 1 now, it makes sense to put it in right here. So Leo, are you ready for playing quick spells with our guest?
Obviously, as always, I'm ready to play quick spells. This is my favorite part of my day.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, have you heard about the quick spells?
I've heard of it, but you can explain it again, please.
All right, so Sebastian is going to put on a timer for 90 seconds, and I'm going to ask you like a lot of questions, and you will have to try and answer them. If you don't know the answer, you can say skip, and you're going to try to achieve as many points as possible.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I guess so.
Okay, guys, I will count you in from 3 to 0, and then you can start. So better be ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Which card did Chumley Huffington design for Pegasus in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX?
Little D.
Name 3 continuous spell cards.
Unending Nightmare, Mutual, and Skill Drain.
Spell cards.
Oh, spell cards. Oh, skip.
One
only
fire
no Mutual.
One fire archetype.
One Fire Axe Salmon Great.
2 banned trap cards.
Sixth Sense, and the one that skips a draw. I don't know what name.
2 monsters with 2,400 attack points.
Ignis and Vanity's Fiend.
Name the Belgian national champion 2019.
It's a scrub, I don't know him.
Name a recently unlimited monster.
Oof. I don't know, skip.
What does Pot of Greed do?
Skip.
Ace monster of Jack Atlas in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
Red Torch Archfiend.
Name 2 recent guests of our podcast.
Eike Fecht and Joshua Schmidt.
Name a YCS London winner.
Thomas Rose.
Name an Eman, a Jim, and a
Okay, guys,
Gozus member.
it is time over right there. Did Thomas Rose actually ever win YCS London? I don't think so, right?
Nope.
Oh, damn. I heard
He won-
London and was like, yeah, Thomas Rose.
He
No, I
won
think-
Liverpool and Düsseldorf.
Yeah, right. Liverpool it was, not London. Still a British YCS, so maybe half a point. In total, I think you got 4 questions right. So that's
Damn.
an alright.
That's pretty
result.
shit, Anthony. That's pretty shit.
Yeah,
Gotta say.
just like the mice for 4. Damn.
Actually, it's not too good to be fair, yeah. But let's talk about better stuff again then. Just go on with your top cut experience of the Belgium National Championship.
So, yeah, the next day, top 16 starts. I played against Salmengate again. Game 1, he had an average opening, like the standard combo and 1 negate with 1 hand trap. I break his board, take everything away from him, and he can't come back. Game 2, he bricks, so that's fine for me, and I just stomp him. In the top 8, I played against a really interesting get deck, which was the hardest match of my top cut. It was a Crusader going second.
Wow. How did you
So-
get there?
Well, he destroyed Max in the Swiss rounds.
Ooh.
It was pretty funny. And he played against Sky Striker, top 16. So I guess it was a pretty easy match. And then he only faced Meta in the Swiss round.
Sick. Crusadia. Like we had in Austria this weekend, we had like one Crusadia performing kind of good. I think he was on the bubble for the last round, but he still didn't make it. And in general, I think Crusadia seems to be kind of dead at the moment. But nice to notice that they actually topped the Belgium Championship. But go on with your game then.
So I knew he was playing Crusader because he was right beside me.
Mhm.
And I just hoped I won the die roll to let him go first. Of course, I lose the die roll. So I go first. And I do my board, and I always take my monster away. But then he just starts with Black Garden. I just look at him and I'm like, oh, you played this main deck. That's funny. And I get a token. And pretty much 2 minutes after that, I'm dead. That was funny. Game 2, I side in my backer removal just for Black Garden. And I side in there can be only 1 because it's good against Crusader. It was a really long back and forth with him just saying end phase and me taking my monsters away. But then he top decks Black Garden and he summons a Crusader, like the normal summon Crusader. And I just steal it from him and he can't play anymore. And next turn I OTK him with his Crusader. And then we had only 5 minutes to play game 3. And that was really intense. So I start game 3. And I had like double Widow Anchor and I think 1 other negate. I was pretty confident. I was like, damn, I'm winning this. And then he draws. And then it was MST. Hits my Widow Anchor. And then MST.
Oof.
Hits my other Widow Anchor. And then Cosmic Cyclone.
Ooh.
And I was like, yeah, okay. It's gonna be hard. And he couldn't OTK me, but he did 4-7 damage. So now it's my turn. I have 2 minutes. I don't even know what I did, but somehow I got rid of his board and then 4-6 damage. And then I ended on Phoenix and destroyed his Black Garden. He had absolutely nothing on the field, nothing in hand, nothing in grave. When I passed my turn, there were 15 seconds left. And I only needed him to not top deck something playable to stall for 15 seconds. So he drew, and it was a Mech Knight who he couldn't summon, so he just passed and I attacked with Phoenix.
Nice.
It was really intense.
Oh yeah, I can feel it actually.
Real thriller.
Yeah.
And then top 4 was against Salad. Again. Game 1 he starts with 4 hand traps and 1 fusion. So he just says end phase and yeah, he didn't win that one.
Surprise, surprise.
And game 2, he starts with 2 hand trap, 1 fusion, 1 wheel, and 1 spinning. So, yeah, it was a pretty easy top 4 match, if I say so. And then was the final, which I finally won my first die roll of the day. And I let him start because I knew it was a mirror match. And he did 2 to 3 misplays in the game 1, which he tried to summon my Kagari with short cannon, but it was not summoned correctly, so my Kagari was banished. And his Kagari was summoned correctly, so I could just use Kagaris every turn, because I just protected Hita with Eagle Booster every turn.
Oof.
So game 1 I used 5 Kagaris and he only used 1, which was really unfair.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Like that was pretty unfair.
And then game 2, he starts again. And I have like a pretty good hand. I set up my engage play, I pass. He does his setup, sets 4. I have Twin Twister in hand, so I'm pretty confident. I know where Widow Anchor is because of Mulchro. So then I use engage, and then he flips Shard Droid. And I look at my hand. I look at my engages in hand, I'm like, god damn it. And from there on, I couldn't win the match in time, so it was a draw. And then there was like the KO procedures, because we were in a top cut.
Yeah, of course.
So he wins the die roll, he goes first, which is good for me. So then the first card he used was Upstart.
What?
Okay.
That's smart.
Definitely.
So he used Upstart. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna ash that, thank you. So then he does his play, it's my turn. I do 1k damage with Hayate. I clear a little bit of his board and I have enough setup so that he can't do damage on his last turn. And then he misplayed on the battle phase because he didn't. He took my monster and he had 1 Hayate on his field, so he had 2 monsters. It was basically 3000 damage. But because he had 1 monster in the main monster zone, he couldn't use Eagle Booster to protect his Hayate. And when he went in the battle phase, I just took his Hayate and he couldn't push for damage. So I was ahead of 2000 life points at the end of his turn, and I just set end phase and I won.
Easy peasy. Nice. And so you are the national champion of Belgium then. How did it feel like right after the final? What was the feeling?
It was really weird because the tournament was finally over, and then I realized what I just did. That I just won the final. I was like, damn, I'm a champion now. And then all of the emotion started flowing in me.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that felt really amazing afterwards.
Did you cry?
No.
Sounded like it though.
I bet you cried. I bet you cried.
I could have cried, yeah. But it was really amazing. I should have cried against Max though.
That's true.
I mean, I think if there's a time to cry in your life, it probably is when you're winning a national championship in Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
That's the dream of every Yu-Gi-Oh player.
That's a Yeet moment. Agreed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. I never thought I would come this far. Well, I was already pretty sure I was come top 16 because I was pretty comfortable with the deck list, pretty comfortable with the deck. I was testing it for like 1 to 2 months now. And with the time I played the deck, I learned a lot of things with Striker, and Striker is about the little things. And the more little things you know, the better you can play the deck, and the better you can outplay boards and hand traps.
It's about practice with the deck, right? Just practice, practice. Absolutely.
That's why a lot of people don't play the deck now, because it's not as easy to play as it was with 3 Kagaris.
Yeah, of course. You have to be better now than you had to be with 3 Kagaris. That's true.
Yeah, the deck lacks the comeback potential that it had before. Like this draw into Ray brings you back into the game instantly. That's not happening anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely true. So, Leonard, what do you think? Shall we just go for counter traps to round things up now?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't
Would
think
make
there's
sense,
too much
right?
more to say.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Anthony, do you know counter traps?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean our mini game, not.
Oh yeah. No, then I don't know.
Okay, so we're going to ask you 10 questions, and you, of course, can answer them if you want or not. But we won't respond to that. So this is basically your time to shine. You can put out statements on the internet that nobody will argue against. So you can say whatever you want. You can, of course, also answer like a normal person, not like Merlin Schumacher did. He just repeated 26 in like different languages, which wasn't funny, to be honest. Because I'm not a fan of the 26 joke, as I have repeatedly stated on the internet. But anyways.
And it kind of ruined our game a little.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah,
so
okay.
If you mess it up, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, 10 questions for you. So let's start with question number 1. What is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card of all time?
Totally awesome.
How does the Yu-Gi-Oh community in Luxembourg look like?
It's pretty small, but really competitive because everyone has a meta deck and everyone knows each other. So it's like a big family.
Okay. What Yu-Gi-Oh format was the best you ever played?
Oof, that's a hard one. Because at first it was Zodiac format, because that format was really cool. I really liked it. The mirror matches were so fun. But now I guess Sky Striker takes the spot, because Sky Striker is a really cool deck. And I just won a national with it, so why not?
4th question. Do you still see yourself playing Yu-Gi-Oh in 5 years from now?
I think in 5 years, yeah. Like, the game is still developing into a bigger esports scene, if I can say it like that. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. After winning nationals now, would you rather top 3 YCSs or keep the title?
What was the question again?
After winning nationals now, would you rather top 3 YCS championships or keep the title?
I'll do both.
That's good, okay. What is the best team in Yu-Gi-Oh ever?
Team Trent.
Yeah, obvious. Yeah, you already said that. What is your favorite? What is your favorite YCS location?
YCS Rimini was pretty nice, but just for the access to it, I think YCS Ballroom is better.
Okay. Off topic. What is your favorite food?
Oof. I don't really have a favorite food, but if I needed to choose,
it's baguette.
Baguette. No, but really, it's probably a big fat burger.
All right. What was the weirdest thing somebody said to you when you said that you play Yu-Gi-Oh? Or what was like the weirdest reaction somebody had?
I don't know the game. That was really weird for me when people say that. Like, that's really weird.
That's actually a good answer to a bad question. And so our last question is, do you have any final shoutouts?
So my first shoutout is for Misha Zadla, because or else he will cry about it, that I didn't shout him out. And then shoutouts to the Yu-Gi-Oh community, to the Game Store, of course, and to all of my Luxembourg friends, Belgian friends, Yu-Gi-Oh friends. They know who they are. I don't need to say all of their names.
Yeah, perfect. So, thank you a lot for joining us for that episode of YPFL Talk. I think we had quite a nice time. Your tournament report was pretty interesting, and I guess people could hear that you were really happy about taking your title, and that you were feeling every single game of that, and you actually remembered quite a bit of it. I'm always wondering, like, how can you remember so much of the tournament? For me, it's like
that's because you never win, Steve.
might be the case. Yeah, you might be right, Leo. Maybe if I win, that would change. I should try at least.
Like, I also remember like every round of Dutch nationals last year, and that was like a year ago. So you kind of do not forget that somehow. I don't know why, but it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it just stays in your mind. Cool thing. So then let's wrap it up, and everybody tune in to our Ultimate God Cup once again on Thursday. Last week we had a break on that, but this week we will be back for that, and we will hopefully have a thriller there. So everybody should join there, and I hope we will hear us there, Leonard. Yeah, this time we will be reunited.
Yeah.
Nice.
What?
Hello?
I couldn't understand you. What?
I just said that we will be reunited for the Ultimate God Cup, and we will finally be casting a match again.
True. Yeah, we've been casting like not too much lately.
Yeah,
I really miss casting.
Yeah, right. So, everybody, have a nice evening from now on, and hear you on Thursday for the Ultimate God Cup. Bye, guys.
Bye.